Something a little bit different today. I don't normally review these kind of products, but today I'm going to look at the Levoit Core 300 air purifier. Now, the only reason we actually own an air purifier is because our son has a dust mite allergy, and we thought, well, if we get an air purifier for his room, then maybe it could just relieve the symptoms a little bit and just remove some of the fine dust and some of the bigger dust from the room. And I don't know, and if anyone's come to this video thinking that they're going to get any kind of medical result saying, yes, these things work wonders, I've no idea. We have no evidence whatsoever to suggest that this air purifier has improved his condition. We just can't tell. There are way too many other variables. However, what I can tell you is that it does remove the amount of dust in the air. And I can give you evidence of that. As crude as it may be, I can give you evidence of that. But first of all, let's take a look at the actual product. So as I'm out of the studio today, you're not going to get any fancy kind of product shots or any pretty stuff. This is just a rough and ready review, okay? So here it is. This is the Levoit Core 300. And to give you an idea of scale, just put my hand against it there. It's fairly small, like the size of a sort of waste paper basket or something like that. And I've got it kind of sat in a corner here. And the reason it's sat on a stool, he's not really supposed to use these at ground level. Ideally, you're supposed to have it a good kind of 3 or 4 foot off the ground, I think. At the moment, that's just not convenient to do in this room, so just raised it a little bit. Probably makes no difference at all. I don't know. And the air gets drawn in through the bottom here, pushed out through a fan. Drawn in through the filter in the bottom, and pushed up through a fan. So it's basically, these things are really just a fan, and then the filters are the bit that you have to buy to make them do their job. It's got a nice control panel on the top. Not on at the moment, but it's all touch controls on the top. So there we go. That's now set to mode speed 1. You can see there is a night mode as well, which slows it right down, but please don't think that you won't be able to hear it. This thing is shifting air. Of course you're going to be able to hear it at night if it's in the same room as you. So if you're expecting to buy an air purifier and think it's going to be silent, it's not. So I find it quite relaxing actually, having this just gentle kind of noise in the background. It's perfectly reasonable. I can pretty much be happy. I would be happy sleeping on anything 1 or below. So I'll just put it up to speed 1 here, and I will give you samples of how loud this is on each speed just a little bit further on in the video. I'll set something up on my portable recorder and do that. And there's 2. There's mode 2, and there's speed 3. Speed 3 really ramps things up, and blasts air out. And then you can lock the controls with this button here. If you press and tap and hold on there, it I think it does anyway. Hang on. Yeah, so there we go. Now the controls are locked, so the rest of the controls don't do anything. So if you've got kind of kids going around and they're going to start pressing stuff, you can just lock the controls out. Then you've got this here, which tells you when the filter needs replacing. I have absolutely no idea how it determines that, but it's come on once in the time we've been using this. And then if you don't like the lights, I don't really know, they don't really light the room much, but if you don't like them, you can just turn them off there. And then you've got a sleep timer, so for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, or 8 hours. For us, we leave this on pretty much 24 hours a day on one speed or another. Usually in the day, I'll increase it to speed 2, so when my boy's at school or whatever, and then at night time we just put it on the sleep mode, and it works fine. So simple controls. Not much else to it. There's no kind of wireless app or anything like that. It's completely standalone. It's not connected. It's totally off the grid, which, not smart in any way, which, I don't know, is sometimes a good thing, right? I've turned it upside down now, and I'm going to take out the filter. I'm going to try and do it one-handed. So you just turn that, take this off, and here's the filter in here. And you can see actually on here that we've actually got a fair amount of dust on there at the moment. It doesn't look a lot And when I first took these off, I thought, wow, is that it? Is that all that's on there? But that is a surprising amount of dust. Firstly, for the fact that, you know, when you talk about the circumference of this filter, it's quite a lot. And secondly, I dropped one of these once, and the amount of fine dust that came off it was ridiculous. That was before I'd vacuumed it. So what you tend to do every kind of week or two is just give that a quick vacuum on the outside to get the kind of really coarse dust off that you can see on there, and then just replace it in. And that's all there is to replacing the filters as well. When you want to replace them, you just pop it in like that, turn that round, click it into place, and that's it. It's done. So I promised you evidence that this actually does a reasonable job, and the only way I can give you that is by climbing up here on the end of the bed rather precariously and looking on top of the wardrobe. Now, this wardrobe has not been dusted for in excess of a month, right? And there is, if you just take the surface of this, there's nothing, absolutely nothing. Or, well, there's some really, really fine stuff there, but there's virtually nothing to speak of. I'll go in another room now and show you the top of another wardrobe that was dusted at pretty much the same time. All right, here's the top of a wardrobe in our bedroom, and I think you'll be able to clearly see the difference there. In fact, that's really disgusting. I really need to do that at some point. It's just one of those jobs, isn't it? Because you can't see it, you never do it. But that, look, I mean, if I just bring the camera in fairly close there, you can really see the difference. So this is the Levoit Core 300 on the night mode setting. This is the slowest speed fan, and this is from a distance of 50 centimeters from the unit. Just increase that to speed 1. Speed 2. Speed 3. That's the fastest speed. And now I'll turn it off. In conclusion, I would definitely recommend the Core 300. It's really simple to use, the filters are really easy to get hold of, they're easy to clean, it seems to do what it says it's supposed to do, it definitely removes dust from the air, as I demonstrated, and it also does kind of reduce smells and things like that with its 3-stage filter. However, the only downside, and I've left this to the end because it may just be sort of my personal experience and everybody might have a better customer support experience than me, but I had to deal with Levoit customer support because we had an issue with our first air purifier. The problem was, when it was on very low speeds, it started squeaking, so only really, really quietly, but the problem is, you know, if you're sleeping and you've got the gentle hum in the background of the air purifier, and you've also got a kind of like a noise with it, it's just really, really irritating. So I wrote to them, and here's my kind of customer support journey, and I'll take you through this. You probably, you know, as I say, I've left this till the end because you're probably not too interested in this, but your experience might be different. And in fact, you might even think this isn't too bad. Just put in the comments if you think I'm being sort of oversensitive here. So I wrote to them on the 15th of April and just sort of mentioned the fact that, you know, it's only 4 months old and that we've got a problem with it. Just asked for a replacement or, you know, swapped out, a unit to be swapped out. Pretty reasonable request, I think. Nothing heard back for 5 days initially, so I had to send another email saying, did you receive this mail? You know, something can be looked into. 5 days, not a great response time for any customer support. So then they came back to me and said, thank you for your message, we're willing to help, but you've got to provide all this. So you've got to provide a complete Amazon order invoice, you've got to provide a photo of the sticker label, you've got to provide a clear video of the issue. So all the onus at that point is on me. There's no kind of like, sorry to hear you've had an issue, yeah, sure, we'll get that replaced. So that kind of annoyed me to start with, but again, maybe I'm just being oversensitive here. And so I sent them the stuff through that they wanted here, attached to the email. You can see the 3 attachments here. And then they say, well, yeah, but we can't open them. And there is a reason for that. And that's because all of a sudden, instead of Levoit.com or Levoit.com, they're suddenly presenting this etexcity.com domain. So Google security in that case just says, well, no, you don't have rights to this. So essentially their support is not coming from one domain, which then rings alarm bells when it comes to any kind of dealings with a business. You know, you expect everything to come from the same place. So all of a sudden I've got this etexcity.com domain, and again, it might be completely legit, but it just rings alarm bells, doesn't it? Because they can't open the attachments because they're presenting a different domain. That's their problem, not mine. So yes, they say yes, it's one of their domain names, so we're going backwards and forwards. So then I put it on Google Drive and give them sort of exclusive kind of, you know, access to that, just open links, and they can get what they want. So here are the 3. I mean, you've got the video here, you've got the invoice here, and you've got a... and then the next thing they come back and say, oh, but the label still cannot be seen. Right, let's take a look at the picture that I sent them, and let's see if the label can be seen. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. So yes, the label can be seen, but no, they still come back saying it can't be seen. By the way, yeah, we've checked with our technical team. There might be a foreign object in there. Please take out the filter, blow a hairdryer through it, all this sort of stuff. By that point, you know, we're kind of 9 days into it or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, this is just annoying. You know, I need better support than this. Just replace it, right? So here's the number, and I've written to, and then I'm getting kind of a little bit moody here, saying, look, this isn't great customer support. It's just 4 months old. Just take the hit and replace it. That's how good customer service works. Again, kind of moaning here, I admit. You might think this is perfectly reasonable on their part, but I didn't. And finally, they just say, yeah, fine, we'll replace it. And they did. So in the end, great result. You know, the unit was just replaced. They just shipped out another one. Job done. And that's fantastic. You know, that's what I wanted. We've now got a working unit back in his room, and it's all kind of happy and dandy, you know, all good. So a good result in the end, but just that, you know, that time dealing with customer support stuff, you don't want to have to kind of put all that effort into it. You know, when a unit's 2 years old, yeah, maybe, or out of warranty, absolutely. But when it's 4 months old, just get it replaced. Anyway, there you go. There's my experience with the Levoit customer support. But overall, I would still recommend the product. It's really neat, it's really tidy, it's quiet enough for my needs, nice unit to use, simple filters to replace, easy to clean, all that sort of stuff. Nice little air purifier, would definitely recommend it. And there you go, my review. Hope it helps. If you've got any comments or questions, let me know, and thanks for watching.